Hi, and welcome to That Guy's a Maniac, the podcast. I'm your host, Richie.
And I'm your host, Kanzi11, aka Farley. Cue the music.
So, today we are talking about Pokemon types.
We are in the season of This episode is Remember. And we brought up previously how we all have little ways of remembering which Pokemon types are super effective, less effective, weak, or immune to other types via kind of sometimes extremely bullshit ways. So we'll be testing our knowledge and also coming up with foolproof ways for you to forever remember which Pokemon type is effective against others.
Airtight, foolproof ways for you to remember. You, the reader, are going to benefit.
The reader, yeah. If you're a casual Pokemon player, if you're a professional who's gunning for the top spot at Worlds this year, we guarantee with this podcast you'll remember some of those niche type matchups. Although we're probably only going to do type by type and fuck dual types, I guess. We'll see how far we get. But before all that, reader, we have a new game for this season. It is called Character Item Level.
Okay, and it's my turn. So, Farley did the character item level. Da-da-da-da-dan-dan. Yeah, this is the first time we did the jingle, and you know what?
Just go back and put it in retrospectively. Put it in all the episodes which are already out.
Yeah, and all the ones that we've pre-recorded. Yeah.
Just do that.
Yeah, sure.
Or this could be the only time you ever hear that jingle halfway through the 8th season.
I mean, I've already forgotten it.
So Richie, are you thinking of a character item or level?
I am thinking of an item.
An item. Is the item a weapon?
Yes.
Oh. Is it a shooting weapon?
Yes.
Great. Does it fire bullets?
Yes.
Okay.
You're storming this one.
Is it the James Bond's gun, whatever that is, Walther PK 7 or whatever?
It is not. You had a combo.
Combo
breaker.
Combo breaker. Is it a automatic weapon?
Yes.
Is it the minigun from Doom?
No.
Is it the Gatling gun from Resident Evil 2?
No.
Okay. Does it have like a chain belt of ammunition?
No.
How to narrow it down? Otherwise, do you find it in more than one game, or is it a game that's in like a franchise?
You do find it in more than one game, yes.
Is it a real world gun?
No.
Okay. Is it Red 7 from Resident Evil 4?
No.
Whatever that gun's called. You know the one I mean.
I know exactly what you mean. It is Red 7.
Red 7, Red 9.
Red
okay.
something or other. Yeah.
Red something or other. Is it a dual gunnies or single gunnies?
Dual gunnies.
Hey, is it Ebony and Ivory?
It is! Well done! I was so worried because I was like, yes, it is bullets. And like, oh, well, technically it's like infinite bullets, spirit bullets. Oh, I don't want to trip you up on that one. And also, secretly, it's two items. So I was so glad when you said dual gunnies.
Fine. There you go. Probably our quickest one ever.
Yeah. Like, you stormed that one. Well done. Like, highest praise so far for the character item level.
You know, I'm trying to steer away from the killer question at the beginning, which is it from a Nintendo game or not? Which is just so helpful, right?
It doesn't help me.
It kind of divides the route you take into two, right? If it is a Nintendo game, like brilliant, I don't have to think about all that bullshit. If it's
I'm
not, it's also brilliant. I don't have to think about any of that bullshit.
I'm currently channeling the readers, which is like, guys, you finished it for the first time within a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
Get on with the fucking podcast.
Well,
I don't
they don't know what's due to come. So, Richie, let's talk about Pokemon types. For those of you unaware, one of the key aspects, I guess, of the very successful Pokemon series of games is that each of those funny little guys will have a type, or sometimes two types. So, for example, Pikachu, Richie, is what kind of type?
Is an electric type.
An electric type. And Reggie Gygas is?
A normal type.
A normal type. And in the games, if you are a electric type using an electric type move, that move is boosted. But also, if you're an electric type and you're being attacked by a wind type or an earth type move,
no, use the right terms.
That will have different effectivenesses. Now, over the years, the number of types has expanded, and then also we have lots of dual types which come into play. But today, what we're doing is going through the type versus defensive typing, I guess.
Yeah.
To learn, remember, refresh the type effectivenesses. Now, first up, classically it's first. There's no real order to the types. There's like the new ones which are always at the end. And then the others are like in a classic order, but I don't really know what dictates the order. Anyway.
Probably the Japanese alphabetical order.
Possibly. So the first type always is normal. Which what is the vibe of normal types, I guess?
Pink blobs.
Fatties.
Yeah, for a long time it was, and then Fairy type stole a few of them.
And then also like kind of like these are real animals. These are things you might see. Like
yeah, true.
A pigeon or a rat.
A cat or a dog.
A raccoon. Yeah. A sparrow. And then also big fat pinky guys as well.
Yeah.
Your Snorlaxes.
My stereotype go-to is Chansey. Like, when I think normal type, that's the first thing I think of is Chansey.
Yeah, see, I don't anymore since it got that extra type. Did it get extra type? Is it fairy?
No. I think it's just
weird.
Normal.
Okay.
Look it up. Yeah, look it up. Because it would surprise me.
Like, all the other Gen 1 pink fatties end up as fairy.
Yeah.
No, it's just normal. It's just normal. Blissy's just normal.
Yeah, good. I mean,
Fine.
like, Clefairy definitely deserves to be fairy type. Jigglypuff, not so much.
Yeah. It sings. Like, do fairies sing? Maybe, sometimes. Anyway. Hopefully. Richie, I'll ask you. What is normal type super effective against?
Super effective against?
Yeah.
From what I believe, nothing. That's
nothing, because normal is like punching or kicking. It's just a normal move. It's a default move.
Yeah, as a default, it is the foundation upon which everything else is a bit more fucky.
It is the ready sorted of Pokemon types.
Yeah, the vanilla ice cream.
It is face type A of the Pokemon types. It is a man in black pants of the default character creator type thing. It's normal type.
Yeah.
So it's not super effective against anything. However, it's not very effective. It's half effective against two types.
Half effective. So
yeah.
You mean it is resisted by rock and steel?
Yes, and that makes sense. Just imagine your dad. This is how you remember normal. Imagine your dad, right? If your dad punches a rock, that's not going to be really effective. And if your dad punches your cutlery drawer, that's not your cutlery in the cutlery drawer. That's not really going to do very much.
Yeah, I see. I don't even think of punching because that ruins the whole thing. Because rock and steel are actually weak to fighting. Spoilers, everyone.
But we'll come to that.
But so when that figuratively just doesn't work in my head.
I rationalize that a different way.
Yeah. So basically, imagine Chansey sort of throwing themselves at, like, body slamming a rock.
Yeah.
It's going to do nothing.
It's going to do nothing.
Yeah, Chansey just throwing itself at steel, and almost actually doing like a cartoon splat, making it flat along one side when it hits the steel. That's how I remember it not being effective. It's just like, why would you double slap a piece of, steel? And again, it's got to be the normal moves. If you punch it, then it suddenly becomes a fighting, and then it doesn't work. The analogy just doesn't work. It breaks down.
But there's a lot of normal type moves which are punching, right?
Are there?
I think, isn't Dizzy Punch normal?
Yeah, it might be. You know what? I'll give you that. There are punching moves, but there's also like Fire Punch, and there's a great deal of punches, I feel, within the fighting type, or at least they get access to punches that might not be normal type moves as well.
Yes. A lot of normal type moves also you get damage, or the best ones you get damage back as well, like double edge and takedown. Now, famously, so there is one type that normal type cannot do any damage to at all.
That's Ghost.
It's Ghost type. Quite easy to remember, I think.
Yeah, and again, I just imagine Chansey.
Your dad.
No, I don't.
Slapping a ghost doesn't work.
Chansey just like trying to hit a drift blim, but it's little stubby pointy hand flipper thing just goes right through it.
See, this is the problem with imagining Chansey. I can't imagine Chansey doing his like pinball table flipper slap and really doing anything to anybody.
No, yeah, that's a good point. But in my head, it always goes like right through, and it isn't a drift blim. It's a Gengar in my head. It's a Gengar, you know, and it just sort of just passes right through it.
Whoop. And there we go. That's fire normal type.
No. What's it weak to? Are we talking about what it's weak to?
I guess we'll do the flip side when we get to the other types.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Like, if you want to arrange it in that way, I'd have just gone through everything. Cool.
Because otherwise we'll got diminishing returns, and then we'll end up with there's one thing where we don't have to say anything because we said it all. Maybe.
I mean, I'm sure everybody will be very happy about that.
Okay.
No, it's fine. Fine, cool. Okay.
All right. The next type. That was a bit of a teaser for you readers. Normal type's weak to something.
Oh.
The next type, a very basic, one of the elemental types is fire. And it's super effective against 4 types I've written down here.
So one thing we should clarify here.
Yeah.
So right now we're going through what the type moves are.
Yes.
So basically we're talking about any Pokemon, even Chansey. Like Chansey can learn like Electric Punch. So a punch, a normal type move being used by any Pokemon versus a Pokemon of that type. And that's what we're talking about right now. So it's just like, so a fighting type move versus a, flying type, or we're going to be talking about like, so it's just the type move versus the base Pokemon typing. Because you have to remember that there's 2 ways that the typing is used, as attacks and as it getting pounded. Oh gosh.
Yeah, defense.
Yeah, bad words.
Basically.
Yeah.
So your defensive type is what type you are. The offensive type is what type your move is.
Yeah.
And there's interplay between those.
Yep.
But we ain't going to go into that.
Cool.
So fire, Richie, one of the elements we established last week.
As an element.
It's the coolest of the elemental 4.
Yep.
Even though it's probably not quite as useful as water. And I can tell you, it's super effective against 4 other types. I think these are quite straightforward. But can you tell me which 4 it's super effective against?
So it is super effective against grass.
Yeah.
And so, of course, that is the image of setting fire to plants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a cartoon logic thing.
Yeah.
Because if you've ever had to try and make a fire, you can't just set fire to plants. In fact, plants are actually quite hard to make go on fire.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Well, unless they're dry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If they're dry, if they're in somewhat processed,
but none of
fine.
the Pokemon are particularly dry Pokemon, with the exception of perhaps like Phantom. You know.
Oh, also the there's that one that's based on like a tumbleweed. That strikes me as dry.
Yeah. Those two should be like 10 times effective. Yeah. Whereas you've got like a little green bean Chikorita with a leaf coming out his head.
Yeah.
It looks very moist. I don't like my phrasing tonight at all. It looks. Do you know what I mean? It looks full of water, very succulent, like a succulent plant.
Oh my god! Today's not the day to be talking in this either. Yes, it is. It's me like, don't try this at home, reader, but go and get yourself a broad bean, from a can.
Try and set it on fire.
Try and set it on fire with a lighter. It's not happening for a long time. If anything, you'll like slightly char the outside.
Okay, but what we're trying to help the readers here. So
yeah,
setting fire to plants, as in dry sticks and tumbleweed and
wildfires.
Wildfires. Anything that kind of conjures up that image is the best way to remember that fire is effective against grass.
Correct.
Yeah.
Next type.
Bug.
Yep.
So I unfortunately I don't really have a good nomenclature for this other than I imagine a caterpillar that has eaten a lot of grass and is mostly plant material. And therefore, that is why bugs are susceptible to being set on fire.
I think of it as like burning ants under a magnifying glass.
That's a good one as well. Yeah.
Yeah, which makes a bit more sense. I mean, not a huge amount because that's light or whatever. But
hey, listen. What's your stereotypical go-to bug Pokemon?
It's Shedinja.
Mine is Caterpie because Gen 1 and that is a caterpillar. It is full of grass and plants.
But again, and don't try this at home, reader. I think it's quite hard. Caterpillars are like fat and juicy. It's quite hard to.
Yeah, I imagine setting fire to them is not.
Unless, of course, it's been eating loads of dry plants.
Yeah, exactly. So it's been munching on hay.
Okay, yeah. So that's the 2 ways to remember that bug is weak to fire, or fire is super effective against bug. 2 more types that fire burns through.
I want to. Well, yeah, it's definitely steel. I'm going to struggle with the last one, and I think it's an annoying one that I can never remember. But yeah,
the last one kind of, but also doesn't make sense at the same time. The last one is ice.
Yeah. Anyway, let's stick with steel. Let's stick with steel for now.
Okay. It's because if your car is in the sun, it gets hot.
See, I imagine Terminator 2.
Okay, that's a good way to remember it.
So it's like it turns into molten, like the steel of his
Yeah.
skeleton turns into molten thing because it's getting heated up. Not
Yeah.
necessarily by fire; it's more
There you
molten
go.
metal, but still, that's how I remember.
That's also canon. Terminator is steel type. Just steel type?
Steel and normal.
Steel and dark?
Nah, steel and normal
Steel and normal? Why is it normal?
because
Not a
the
normal
flesh over the top.
thing. I'm going for steel and dark.
Nah, it's steel and normal. Steel underneath, but it's normal outside, which just makes it rubbish actually.
I don't think there is a steel and normal, is there?
I
Pokemon.
know. Like, what would that even do to the typing? It would.
It'd be 4 times weak to fighting. Spoilers.
It removes its. Yeah, fighting. Yeah, and it removes the resistance to so many things. Normal getting paired with anything is just sad. It's really, really sad.
I don't think you gain. Who gains anything from being normal type? I don't
It's
think
like,
anybody
what is it,
does.
Drampa?
Yeah, normal and
Dragon.
dragon. Yeah, normal and dragon. He's again with the dad analogies. Like, oh, whatever granddad was a dragon.
I suppose. Well, yeah. You know what? I'm liking that analogy a little bit more.
I'd be like, okay, yeah, dragon's cool. What would my dad and a dragon be? Kind of just like a old dragon guy.
Anyway, Fire and Steel. We did that one. Terminator. We've concluded is Steel.
Steel and dark.
Well, I tell you what. It evolves.
Okay.
I
It
mean,
starts as normal and steel.
it starts as normal steel. Your typical Arnold Schwarzenegger covered. Then it evolves into
Then you melt its skin off, and it becomes
Steel and Dark.
Steel
I like
and
that.
dark.
Yeah.
And then you break its programming, and it just becomes pure steel.
No. It becomes the T1000, and it gains transform, and remains Steel type.
Brilliant. There we go. You've finally united the Terminator and Pokemon universes.
Finally.
Finally. No,
Jesus.
they said it couldn't be done. But there you go. Confirmed. And let's move on to Fire and Ice. This is the one I struggle with a little bit. I don't struggle in terms of remembering it because fire burns ice, but actually, like, ice should kind of resist fire, I think.
Yeah, let's. The thing that gets me is ice as a type. In most other games, ice gets amalgamated with water magic. You know, you do water magic, you can do ice spells. You know, that kind of goes hand in hand. But and I'm sure there's a lot of people who are screaming, and I'm already thinking to myself that is not always true. You get frost and all that sort of stuff. But anyway, as a type in Pokemon, it's always kind of like, if you set fire to ice, which you can't, you can melt ice, it becomes water type, which, spoilers, resists fire type.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like,
if you melt ice, you become weaker against it.
yeah.
And I guess it kind of part of the difficulty is some ice type Pokemon are literally made of ice, right?
Yeah.
So they are a melting snowman. There's some horrible Pokedex entries where, basically if these guys take a wrong turn, they just melt and die.
Yeah.
But then others are just chilly dudes, but don't die in a desert.
A polar bear.
A polar bear. Problematic woman who's
yeah.
a bit icy.
Oh, she's a Valkyrie. So she's
Valkyrie.
meant
She's
to be,
an opera singer.
well, I think she's meant to be like Scandinavian, so living up in the cold areas. So Valkyrie from the sort of Norse legend. Do you know what I mean?
What? Yeah. Why is Jinx? We're talking about Jinx, by the way.
Yeah,
Why is
yeah.
Jinx psychic though?
I don't know either.
Okay, I'm looking it up.
There might be more instances of Farley looking things up and
Sexism, racism, origin. In a biographical manga, blah, 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 blah. Game Freak's headquarters was close proximity to Shibuya, which was a common Shibuya 109, the building, which is
okay.
a common place for street fashion. Gyaru, oh my god, really? Gyaru street fashion. Have you heard of Gyaru street fashion?
No.
It's it's like a weird. Here's how I understand it. Apologies to anybody if I get this massively wrong. Gyaru is like a weird fashion trend where Japanese people sort of dress up a bit like Americans. So
Wow.
they wear loads of fake tan and like Ugg boots and have bleached hair
Brilliant. That's
and
fantastic.
loads
I
of
love
makeup.
it. How do you spell it? Gyaru? Gyaru?
Gyaru, Gyaru is the kind of anglicized pronunciation.
See, I feel like I've seen it written down.
Yeah. If you Google,
Google it. It is literally Japanese people with bleached hair and Ugg boots.
yeah,
That is insane. All right,
I
so
will-
like so it's just like American style. That's quite cool.
yeah, and so apparently in this biographical manga,
Oh wow, it
Uh,
is the English slang for the word gal.
Yeah.
Gyaru, gal,
Gyaru,
just
gal.
a gal. Okay, cool. Right, sorry,
Um,
move on.
and so that's what inspired part of Jinx design,
What?
according to this biographical manga. Then there's all the racist shit. I don't really know how that works. And then
Yeah, because she used to be like full on black, as in like just like the color black, and then
Yeah.
that was a bit troublesome. Now she's purple.
because she's kind of in the anime and the manga, it's kind of associated with Christmas. People drew the obvious comparisons with Zwart Piet, the
Oh yeah.
highly problematic Dutch folklore guy. And then lastly, it says she may be based on a Nordic or Viking woman.
See, I always got that. I always got Valkyrie because she's operatic and her. It looks like a breastplate, that she's wearing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So,
Yeah,
but,
no, yeah, I know,
but
yeah.
Jinx
There
is
you
based off a Nordic myth about magical snow maidens or something to that effect. Psychic type resists. Blah blah blah. Let's not go down there.
Yeah, okay. I don't really know why she's psychic, but fine. Not everything needs rationalizing.
I think right. Next episode is all about Jinx.
God. They said not to touch it with a barge pole, but we're doubling down.
Yeah.
Okay, so there we go. Fire. It will burn some grass. It will burn an insect which is eating some grass. It will burn some steel which is on some grass, and it will burn ice if ice is covered in grass. However, and I will be the looker-upper of these because I couldn't tell you fucking anything. There are 4 types which fire is only half effective against, one of which you've already named.
What about water?
Water, yeah, that makes sense. Try
But hang on,
yeah.
The whole point of this is we need to have some kind of a way to remember that fire melts ice. Or is that just how we remember it?
In that one of the X-Men movies, who wins between Fire Guy and Ice Guy? Fire Guy wins, right?
Pyro versus I suppose that works, yeah.
So just think of that battle.
Is that how you remember it?
No, I just remember it as this doesn't really work. I think of a melting ice cube. In fact, all of the fire things I think of as being sun power, basically. Your car will get hot, you can burn your ants, your grass will wildfire, and if you left an ice cube out under the sun, it would melt.
That's good. That's really, really good. In my head, because the only ice type I could ever really think of in Gen 1 was Articuno.
Yeah.
Is always... So, when I'm picturing fire being super effective against ice, it is Moltres melting Articuno. Setting fire to its wings.
Articuno.
To all of its feathers,
I think in the scriptures in Pokemon 2000, I think when the trio of birds are fighting each other, I think Articuno is the first one to get fucked up, right?
But he should be.
Because it's,
And Zapdos is the clear winner.
Yeah. It's weak to electric and it's weak to fire.
Oh, all the spoilers.
Spoilers for Pokemon 2000. Spoilers for all the types we're about to go through. There you go. So if you've not watched it in the last 24 years, at one point Articuno gets fucked up, okay?
Right, we'll put a big spoiler disclaimer on the description of the episode.
There we go.
Yeah.
So just think of fire as being, not fire the substance, whatever it is. It's not a gas, is it? Is it? I don't know.
Fire isn't a gas. Fire is... Oh, God.
Exactly. It's not those. Think of it as a sun, a burning sun. And here's all the things that don't like being in the burning sun.
It's a flamethrower to me as well, so... Anyway, right,
yeah.
Let's move on. So, 4 times... So, you're saying that fire isn't very effective against water?
Yeah. Try setting fire to your bath. Doesn't work, does it?
Yeah, no, I agree. If you flamethrower a bath, it's going to take a long time for that water to evaporate.
Yeah.
It's a really inefficient way to boil water.
In the meantime, it becomes an air type, a steam type, and then who knows?
Types.
There are. I'll tell you this now. I knew one of these. There are 2 which I wouldn't have known, and one is fucking mental.
Yeah.
Okay?
So, ground.
No.
Fire's not very effective at ground.
No, it's normal.
That's it.
Yeah.
Fuck.
This is where it gets fucky because some of these are effective against fire, but it isn't. It
Fairy?
doesn't automatically mean. Nope, normal.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, right. Then, I
Do you want me to give it away now?
No, I need to get there. I need to get there because I would have said ground because in my head, putting a flamethrower on some soil isn't going to do fuck all. There's no grass in it.
What depends if it was covered in dry grass, it'd be normal.
Right. Okay. Itself. Fire itself.
Yeah.
Fire isn't very effective against itself.
Despite the popular saying, you shouldn't be fighting fire with fire because it's not very effective.
Do you know what? That's brilliant. Don't fight fire with fire. That is it.
Ignore ignore the idiom.
No,
don't remember the idiom's wrong.
No, the idiom's fine. Don't fight fire with because you don't want.
The idiom is you can only fight fire with fire.
No, the idiom is don't fight fire with fire.
No, it's not. That's my rule for remembering it.
Oh, wait a minute. Yeah. Fighting fire with fire. So the idiom is wrong. Right, okay, cool.
Yeah. So ignore however many thousands of years of human culture and history. And remember 1996 type effectiveness is do not fight fire with fire.
I think the idiom is don't fight fire with fire.
I think it's fight fire with fire.
So I think when you fight fire with fire, that's the whole, that's eye for an eye. Don't fight fire with fire.
No, you're mixing them up to say
fight fire with,
fight fire with fire to fight against an opponent.
Because that's not a way to put a fire out. You don't fight fire with fire.
Yeah, but if you've not got fire, if you're not fighting fire with fire, you're just getting burned up.
I'm you need to Google it, but I'm pretty sure that the idiom is don't fight fire with fire because in order to fight fire, which is firefighting as in putting fires out, you don't use more fire, you use something else. And I think that's the moral lesson that comes from it.
No, it's fight fire with fire.
Fighting fire with fire.
Yeah, fight fire with fire. And if you don't believe me, there's at least 4 songs, 3 albums, 4 films, more songs, several books called Fight Fire with Fire.
Yeah, but like, I could understand the song being called that because it's like rousing, but the idiom itself.
Okay, do you know? Just make your life easier. You don't even know the idiom, so don't pretend to know it. Just think of everything as "Don't fight fire with fire."
Okay.
For all the readers, if you have learned Fight Fire with Fire, remember that's the opposite. For when you're, choosing what attack to use on a Charizard or something.
Yeah. Yeah, don't
Great.
use a flamethrower on something that's already on fire. It doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make sense. Unless you're in real life, in which case, flame that guy. He's flaming you. Don't just be flamed. Flame and get flamed.
Flame and get flamed.
Flame and get flamed. Okay,
Do unto others.
Do unto others with the flamethrower as they are flaming throwing to you. One of the others, it does make sense in that it's kind of the reverse. So it is something which is super effective against fire. It also resists fire, not ground. It's my favorite type, rock.
Rock, of course.
Because you can't burn a rock. I mean, you can.
So my issue with that is, if steel type are weak to fire, rock types should equally be weak to fire.
Why? Imagine this. You're in your car. Somebody has surrounded it in a fire, right? You're going to die. You're dead. You're going to melt. The car's going to melt on you and you're going to die.
Yeah.
If your car is made of rock and surrounded by fire, eventually you'll die, but it'll take really, really long.
Do you... What? So...
It'll take really, really long.
In my head, rock...
Like, oh, yeah.
Like, steel is just very, very refined rock. And that, when we were talking about the earth bending and stuff like that from the previous... I would say that steel bending is absolutely part of earth bending.
Okay. Because in my mind, when you say, if you have any kind of like metal bending, right?
Yeah.
It is aluminium foil.
In my head, it's Bender from Futurama. Just taking a girder and turning...
And just bending it.
Yeah.
Okay. To me, it's like, okay, you've got steel that's as thick as aluminium. Yeah.
Yeah. But if you were to...
Think about it this way, right? Rock, in the planet in which we live, rock is the only thing stopping us from melting into magma.
Yeah, certain types of rocks. But then you've got other rocks which you literally melt down to get metal. You know?
Yeah, but you have to melt them at really hot temperatures.
Yeah, and who better to do that than fire types?
Well, my cargo is supposed to be 3 times hotter than the surface of the sun. So
yeah, and doesn't ignite the air around it.
Okay. Then there's one more which to me doesn't really make sense. That kind of makes sense, maybe.
I've just clicked what this one is. It's the one that's resistant to loads of stuff, and that is dragon.
Dragon.
They're magical. They have scales, and in mythical, magical world, I imagine the dragon scales in these Tolkien-esque Dungeons and Dragons worlds.
Yeah,
they are resistant to many elements. Elements, so that the fire, wind, water, and all that sort of stuff. So I think people would wear dragon scale armor, and it would give them plus 30 fire resist or something like that. Do you know what I mean?
Okay, yeah. So I can kind of see, like, I've got my rock suit on.
Yeah.
Aha, I can resist fire, but then, dragon fire's magical bullshit.
It's also, it's kind of magnified in my head as well, because Dragonite's hidden ability is Marvel scale.
Yeah.
Which just does like half damage, and just like, there you go, further proof that it's covered in scales and therefore resistant to shit.
Normal fire, civilian fire.
Yeah.
But maybe weak to another kind of fire. But we'll get to that later.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fire type. Super clear so far, I think.
Yeah.
Now, water. I'm not gonna look, so you can ask me.
Okay, I'll look. So, water.
Yes.
What is it super effective against?
So, how many types am I looking for?
You're looking for 3 types.
Okay. Well, I think these are fairly straightforward. One is fire, right?
Yeah.
It has that nice reciprocal relationship that concrete-brained oldies like us can easily remember.
Yeah, fire, water, grass has a
Yeah.
nice little sort of paper, scissors, rocks going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except I don't think grass resists something. Okay, anyway.
Okay.
Then the next one I know dear to my heart is rock is weak to water.
Rock is weak to water. Yes, it is. Yes, of course it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just look at the thing, Richie.
And I when I think about that, I envisage a river will cut a canyon given enough time, right?
That's a great analogy. That's really great. Yeah, go on.
Slices through rock.
Yeah.
And then the other one is water is super effective against ground.
For exactly the same reason. The ground is made of rock.
Ground is made of rock, or if you get a flood, the ground just doesn't really do anything, right? Groundwater, yeah. Easy.
Yeah. So ground and rock are very interchangeable in my head. Mainly because I think a lot of Gen 1 you didn't get pure rock types. Everything was rock and ground.
Everything was, if it was rock, well, if you think Geodudes, Rhyhorns, and then there's another one, I think, which is,
Onyx.
loads of them.
Yeah.
Which are rock and ground. So, if they are within a square mile and you run a bath, they die.
Yep. Absolutely.
Weak to water. Now, as to what resists water, well, Richie.
Well, we've got three.
3, okay. Is it? This would make the elemental and grass triangle nice. Does grass resist water?
Yes.
Great. That's because, and in my mind, it's because plants fucking love water.
Yeah, exactly that. Like, you throw water at a Chikorita, I imagine it just like gets bigger.
It gets moister.
Yeah.
Even more succulent.
Oh God.
Even moister and more succulent.
If you pound that Chikorita with water, it gets moister and succulita.
It's kind of a branched evolution in the next game.
Yeah.
Richie's fan-made game, Chikorita to Succulita.
Oh dear.
God knows where it goes from there.
Let's not go down that path.
Let's not go down that path. Then 3, you say? So
you said grass.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else would it be resistant to?
Ice is because ice is water. Is that thing?
Nothing. No.
Ice freezes water.
Normal.
There should really be a
just normal
ice water interaction.
Just
I think.
Normal.
Wow. 2 more. Hang on, I'm going to look at the types.
Just think about the elemental triangle.
Electric isn't in the triangle. Electric?
No. The elemental triangle.
Fire, water, and grass.
Yes, but would it be weak to? Sorry, not very effective against?
Grass.
And? and
what?
Fucking
Water?
think about it. Yes.
Okay.
The elemental triangle completely completes itself, as we'll find out with grass.
Completely completes itself.
So it's
there
not...
we go.
Yeah.
Easy to remember, guys. The elemental triangle
completely completes itself.
Which also includes grass, which is not an element. Completely completes itself.
So if
Easy.
you're ever in a monotype tournament where you can only use fire, water, and grass, you can remember that fire is only half effective against fire and water, but it's super effective against grass. You can remember that water is super effective against fire, but only not effective against. It's only half effective against water and grass. And grass, well, we'll get there, but does exactly the same interactions.
Okay.
So
how do we explain that? I guess if you're pissing on someone else's piss, it just makes a bigger piss. I don't know.
In all honesty, now that I'm thinking about it, the best way to remember it is fire, water, and grass just has this pure interaction with each other. And that's why they are like the main starters that you always get. They are like half effective and super effective against each other. It's very nice. I like it.
Do you know what, Richie? I'm glad we're doing this because between us, we've probably spent like tens of thousands of hours, right, playing Pokemon. Yeah.
Yep.
I don't think I ever clocked that water. Or now, these days, you just get told.
Yeah.
But I don't think in the before days I ever clocked that water wasn't very effective against water.
Yeah, I know. I would have straight up still used surf against a melodic.
Just giving surf.
Yeah.
I was not doing anything. I must have some interaction against some other thing. I don't know.
Yeah, a melodic that is pure water type. Why is it resisting the water?
Why is my water move not doing anything? Must be something else. My Pokemon just be weak. Fucking melodic.
So I guess it's like throwing a cup of water in the ocean. It does nothing.
Yeah.
There's an idiom that works as well.
Yeah. There's a massive tidal wave. You get a fire hose.
Yeah, that's nothing.
Just not even does nothing.
It's half effective.
Okay, great.
Okay, cool. One more.
What? One more?
Yep.
It's not electric, is it?
No.
Okay, it's not electric, it's not ice. I don't really think it works with fighting or poison or ground or flying.
Remember.
Oh, yeah, okay. Is it dragon?
Yes, it's dragon.
Okay, right.
So dragon's like the antithesis of the.
They're in the middle of the elemental triangle.
The elemental triangle. Yeah. They're the elemental triangle. They're like, they hate or they are what you use against the elemental triangle. It's just you've got blooming Bulbasaur. You've got Charmander. You've got. Yeah,
you're rocking up to Elite Four. You've got your 3-star. You've traded with some mates.
And here comes Lance in with his Dragonair. And you know what? You can do all the damage you want with fire, water, and grass, and it's just going to do half the damage.
Charizard, use Blast Burn.
It's not very effective.
Blastoise, use Hydro Cat.
Not very effective.
Venusaur, use whatever the grass one. Frenzy Plant.
It's not very effective.
Solar Beam, I would have gone for.
I was going for the secret moves.
Okay, cool.
The tutor moves. And there we go. Easy to remember.
And, right, I'm going to give you the opportunity to finish off the elemental triangle. Grass.
Grass.
It is super effective against 3 types.
Yes. All of which are near and dear to my heart. It's super effective against water.
There we go.
Don't really know why. How to explain that? I can understand grass resisting water because you water your plants.
Yeah, because keep in mind, look at Bellsprout. It's got roots.
Okay.
It's got roots.
It's got roots. So,
and if you chuck water at the roots, they suck it up and they become better. You know?
Okay.
So they become moister and more succulent. You throw water.
But that's passive. This is active. Like, what is the Bellsprout doing to water?
Imagine how aggressive plants can be. We've all seen these sped up plants. So imagine a fast plant that's able to suck up water. It's going to suck up water. That's why it's effective. So when a grass type move hits a water type, it's secretly sucking the life force out of the water type. Like if you hit it with like tendrils or whatever, you're just taking a little bit more damage because you are, you're sucking the life force out of the water type.
Of the water.
Yeah.
Okay. That'll just have to do. And then the other one, that'll do, pig. That'll do. And then the other two, because I get stomped on this all the fucking time, is rock and ground.
Yeah.
And those are easy to remember. Just think of a little seed that has come out of a bird's bum, and it's fallen in a rocky crack, and then it rains, and then it's sunny, and then that grows into a tree, and it splits the rock up.
Well, very similarly, I think of when I was growing up, there was a pavement near me which had a thistle growing through it, and the thistle was so voracious it actually cracked the pavement and it bent up the pavement. Or think of tree roots along pavements, just like cracking the rock and the ground under it. Yeah.
Easy to remember. Rock and ground. Also, it helps if your favorite Pokemon of all time was a water and rock type, and every fucker's got a grass move or a water move and it just destroys you.
Okay, so grass.
Yeah.
Here's a challenge for you.
Okay.
Not very effective against 7 types.
What the fuck?
I know.
Okay, so let's remember, dragon is the anti-elemental triangle with grass. So
right.
Dragon's 1.
Yep, dragon's 1.
Grass is 2 because of the
elemental triangle. Yeah.
The elemental triangle. Don't fight grass with grass. Don't fight water with water. Don't fight fire with fire.
And what else? Grass with grass. So that's 3 of them down.
Grass with grass.
Fire with grass. You don't fight fire with grass.
You don't fight fire with grass.
Right, so let's start with that one since it is actually the first one.
Okay.
Grass isn't very effective against fire because...
No, if you have a bonfire, you throw grass, you throw your lawn clippings on it, do you? I don't really know. I've not really had fire. I'm not really a bonfire person.
I don't know. See, I'm imagining Bulbasaur's Vine Whip hitting a fire type, and it's gonna singe that vine. So I think,
even though we established that grass is succulent,
but it's gonna singe it, and I'm thinking like cauterize the abilities, and therefore like it's a bud that won't ever grow again, sort of thing,
Yeah, or I think when when you've got super invasive plants and you rip them all out, the only way to deal with them permanently is to burn them away.
Yeah, but that's the other way around. What we're wanting is a grass attacking fire. Like how would grass attacking fire, which doesn't exist in real life, be only
true.
half? Yeah, I think your bonfire analogy is the best one. It's like, hey, oh god, this thing's on fire. Let's throw grass on top of it. Oh
no, it's even more on fire now.
Although, again, it only works when it's the non-succulent grass variety.
I think we just have to move away from succulent grass types.
Yeah, please do.
I'm sure it will come up again. Now, you're telling me there's 4...
No. Let's get on to the next one, which is grass versus grass.
Yeah. Well, now we've come up with the elemental triangle, elemental plus grass triangle. That's all the reason you need, right? Don't fight grass with grass.
Yep, don't fight grass with grass. There we go.
That's it. Just remember that rule.
Yeah. Okay, so there are 4 others excluding dragon. You need to
dragon.
fight.
Again, we've just hardcore baked in.
Yeah.
To our minds and our readers' minds. Dragons, bit magical, bit special, resists
the elemental
triangle and grass.
Yep.
It's grass.
No, the elemental triangle is
grass isn't an element.
No.
Grass isn't an element.
But okay, the starter triangle then.
Yes, let's rebrand it. Starter triangle. Okay.
The
great.
starter triangle. So it is the fire, water, grass, because every single starter starts with that.
Yeah.
Might not end up like that, but every single starter starts like that.
They start like that.
Okay.
Do they all start single type? No.
Not always single type, but they're definitely. Let's not get down this because we had this grass and poison thing really messed me up.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. You have 4 more Yeah.
I'm just going to continue to demonstrate that I don't really know how ice type works at all. Ice?
Nope.
No,
It's just
that's
normal
just
effect.
normal.
Normal effective against ice.
That's weird because,
Yeah, I know. Frostbite. Or first frost.
yeah. I mean, I guess the plants come back every year, so it's not that bad. It can't be ground because ground's weak.
Yeah.
Ooh.
What's the opposite of ground?
What's that?
No.
Flying?
Flying.
I don't think flying is the opposite of ground, but it kind of is. Okay.
So it's
That's
not very effective
because-
against flying.
About birds, and that's because they make their nests.
No, it has to be the
trees.
grass attacking the birds in some fashion.
Okay, yeah, so like someone attacks a bird with a hedge, and it says, "Thanks, I'll make a nest." I think it's just they can fly away, right? Grass can't really do anything in the sky.
Yeah, I think that's the best way to put it. Yeah, grass can't do much in the sky.
There's no grass in the sky.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there are other things in the sky. There are other things in the sky. Teasing something coming later, maybe. Okay, fine.
Okay, three
That's
more.
ice. 3 more. Fuck me. Poison?
Correct. Grass is not very effective against poison.
Yes.
Now, what? Why? Like, why would you? Would it be like let's take the Bulbasaur analogy.
Yeah.
But the poison type in question.
Yeah.
Is also so poisonous. It's actually a weed killer as well as toxic. Would that work? So it kind
No,
of
because I think that works the other way around. Spoilers. Because poison is super effective against grass, right? That is weed killer to me.
poison is not super. Oh yeah, so never mind.
Yeah.
No.
Come on.
But yeah,
Yeah.
no. But in the same way as fire, as in the starter triangle. Remember
Yeah.
what I was saying? So Bulbasaur's Vine Whip
Yeah.
gets cauterized by the fire. If Bulbasaur's Vine Whip hits the Grimer, it's gonna get shriveled because it's weed killer. It's poison. It's almost like it immediately shrivels as it
Shriveled.
touches it.
Shriveled. Yes.
Does that work canonically?
Kind of, yeah. It's frustrating because not every type that's super effective against another type resists it. But this is one where it just doesn't, and it makes sense like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's two more for you to still get here.
Fucking what? Are we kidding?
Yeah.
See it? Oh, bug?
Bug, yes. So
Because bugs eat grass. No, that's how it works the other way.
it's not. It's gotta be. Why?
Okay, we've got Bulbasaur. He's slapping a Caterpie with a vine, and Caterpie's like yum yum yum.
I am 90% grass. This makes no difference to me.
Because I'm all stuffed and stoked up for fire to burn me.
Yes.
You can't hurt me with what I already am.
Yes.
Okay, fine.
Are we taking that one?
Just too much of bug is hinging around this idea that bugs are full of dry grass. But fine. What was the last one? Steel, probably?
Steel, it is steel,
Yeah.
yes.
Because if you try and grow a tree through a car, I mean, it will do it. So that doesn't really make sense, does it? You know,
yeah,
it still
but
is-
through a girder.
I reckon it'll get there. Through some aluminium foil.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah,
no, I can just see. Yeah, I mean, you just don't get plants. You don't get grass growing on steel.
Yeah, because steel is shiny and hard and smooth. I think that's the big difference between steel and rock types. Steel's got this flat girder-like quality in my head, rather than like a car, that perhaps makes it just ever so slightly different from rock.
Yeah.
And
you
yeah,
don't see, you'll see like a stone wall, like an old nice stone wall.
and
Over
it'll start
time,
to have
it'll be
like bud
it'll
and
covered
moss
with
and stuff like that. Yeah.
grass and moss. You got a steel fence. No, nothing.
Yeah, or indeed just a flat steel girder. It'll just rust, but you won't start to see things grow on it because there's nothing, no traction, nothing
There's no
to grip
traction.
onto.
There's no traction.
Yeah,
Cool.
no
Right.
traction. I think I think we're onto something with steel here. Let's see if this pans out.
I'm not going to remember any of these beyond one or two of them.
Starter triangle is the revelation. It's already
That's
worth
the
it.
revelation. It's already there. But God, yeah, grass is just a trash offensive type, huh?
It is. Yep.
Fine, unless you're Omastar or Caracosta or all of the
All of the rock and ground
all the rock
types.
and water types.
No, the rock and ground types as well.
And rock
Yeah.
and water, rock and ground. Okay, fine. Now we move away, Richie.
Okay, so you take over hosting.
We
duties.
move away from the elemental the starter triangle, onto electric. Now, electric is super effective against two types.
Super effective against water and flying.
Yes, and
Yes.
that's because how do you visualize electric
So,
versus water?
like in my head, it is the toaster in the bath.
God, it's so dark. There's a polywag in the bar holding a joltic above its head.
Well, I sent you that horrible meme of
Yeah, you
like
did. Yeah.
of like Ash drowning. It says
Yeah.
Pikachu, I don't want to drown. I don't want to drown. No,
Yeah.
I don't want to drown. And then you just see this flash of light, and you're just like, oh god.
And I think I shared the meme with you with somebody who had spent too much money on Pokemon cards, was trying to kill themselves by dropping 2 electric energy cards into trigger warning, everyone, for self-harm and suicide. But that's how you remember that.
Yes, so obviously, like the conduction of electricity in a harmful way.
So many
Yeah.
B-movie, sorry, so many monster movies end with electric being super effective against water, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Jaws, you put the cables in their thing.
That first Hulk movie where his dad turns into an electric monster. Spoilers.
Yeah. There's another one. I think one of the original Resident Evil. At some point.
Gremlins 2.
Yeah. Okay. There we go. It's like a classic interaction: electric versus water. And the other one was flying. How do you visualize that in your mind's eye?
I imagine it that so obviously lightning conductors are high up in the sky to
True.
try and collect lightning. So if you're a bird, you're susceptible because you're closer to the lightning, despite not being grounded and all that sort of stuff. But let's not go into the science of it. But lightning is the nemesis of the flying animals. And again,
Yes.
lightning. I know it's electric, but yeah, that's it. That's how I imagine it.
Do you know what blew my mind? I'm sure it's blown everyone's mind if you've spent any time thinking about Pokemon. Is that obviously thunder is just a noise.
Yes. But
So, like the
it's so interchangeable, and they have this discourse in the Thor movies as well. Oh, you're the god of noises. You know, like, I think it's fine. Like, everybody knows when you're talking about thunder, you're meaning thunder and lightning.
Because I can understand thunder wave, because if you do the move thunder wave, it makes you paralyzed as your eardrums are blown out.
Yeah.
And you can't really do very much.
Oh,
But then
I like that. I like that. Yeah.
so grim. It's like suicide. Pokemon's ears being blown out. They can't concentrate.
At least they're not moist and succulent.
It's true. It's true. Okay. Then so that's it. Just 2 super effectivenesses. There are 3 half damages.
I feel like you hadn't finished your thunder rant though.
Well, that's apart from signature moves.
Yeah.
Thunder's like one of the strongest electric type.
Yeah, it
attacks.
moves, and it should, and like. But I think
But
it's.
would we be happy if it was like, Pikachu do lightning?
I think we would be.
Yeah, we'd probably be fine actually.
Yeah.
There you go.
I don't think society would crumble. You know what I mean?
Do you know what I think about a lot? I've probably mentioned on the podcast is one of the episodes of Sliders, right? And where they've been sliding from universe to universe so frequently that instead of fucking around with bullshit and being on a planet where there's no men and they get put in a rape prison or whatever, or going on a planet there's giant ants.
It's a very dark
Instead-
episode. Very dark episode.
Instead, they use whether his front gate squeaks or not as a proxy. So they'll slide, they'll try the front gate, and then so he does that, and it doesn't squeak, and so they go, okay, guys, this isn't our universe, and then slide, and then like the next, then you see like a handyman or whatever coming out of his house with an oil can saying, fix that squeak for you, whatever. I say, oh, fuck. Anyway. This is my Sliders moment. On Slider Universe, like a quick. I'll Google up a type effectiveness. A Pokemon move list, and if it's lightning rather than thunder, like, okay, no, guys, we gotta slide.
But I think it would be one of those Slider universes which would be perfectly fine to settle in. Like
if that was the only difference.
Yeah. The only difference is Pikachu's lightning.
Is whoever did the localization was like, well, we'll go for lightning rather than thunder.
Technically, it is it is the action of the electricity, not the sound of it. So yeah. But again, maybe that's the pedant universe, and we don't want to be there.
Oh god, yeah. Can you imagine realistic Pokemon?
Yeah.
They'd just be normal animals. It'd just be real animals.
It'd just be that Ryan Reynolds film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A normal type would just be your dad. You go to Professor Oak, it's like, here's your dad. You set your dad on fighting another.
I mean, now you're going down the chain reaction of like,
someone's like,
would Pokemon been as successful if he used lightning rather than thunder? Would the anime have kicked off? Would there be, 9 generations?
No.
Maybe it didn't. It just didn't click because Ash shouted, "Use lightning Pikachu" rather than use thunder Pikachu. Yeah.
Everyone's like, "Oh, fuck this! I prefer Digimon." Digimon gets huge. There's no.
This isn't our universe. Let's move on.
And there's no Detective Pikachu, which kind of soft launches Ryan Reynolds' career again. Then there's no Deadpool at all.
I think Deadpool was pre-Detective Pikachu.
In this universe.
Anyway. Okay.
There are 3. It's quite the tangent. There are 3 types which resist an electric attack. Richie, please give them me.
The resist it.
Yeah. None of them make any sense. One of them maybe.
So I'm going to say Dragon. Does that fall into that one as well?
Dragon is the last. Yeah, the last of the starter plus electric.
Yeah, and again, I'm still going to use that. It's magical Dungeons and Dragons scales that resist electric magic. Yeah, that's it.
Sometimes there's the thunderstorm, and a dragon will come out the sky. It's not worried about the thunder and lightning. It's not getting electrocuted. It's magical.
Yeah, exactly. And the scales would be used, and that could make plus 30 lightning resistance armor as well. Dragon scale armor.
Yeah. Whereas if you're just a pigeon, you're fucked.
Yeah.
Fine. So yeah.
So I hate to say it, but I'm very much being drawn to. Are we going to talk about ground or?
No, that's not. That's
an immunity, isn't it?
That's an immunity. We can talk about that now.
Yeah, because it's the elephant in the room for me.
Yeah. Okay. Let's get that out of the way, and then we've got to.
It's so simple. Grounding.
Yeah.
Grounding in electricity. Yeah. I'm more than happy for electricity or electric types to be immune. Ground types to be immune to electric attacks.
To electric, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's fine because.
And also in the UK, isn't like our ground. We have a grounding wire. Other
Yeah.
countries don't, and that's
Yep.
why their shit burns down all the time. The ground wire's brown.
The ground wire is the green one.
Oh shit!
The brown one's live, and the blue one's
Oh
neutral.
fuck! Is it black? Black, brown.
It's green.
no, that's-
No, it's green and yellow. The grounding wire.
So you have green and yellow, blue and brown, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
But
Good.
brown
You
is
have-
live. Brown is not a color for live. This works so well. I hate it.
What's that? Brown is not a color.
For live electricity. That is the live wire.
Okay.
The brown
Because-
one. Like,
because
it should be
was-
fucking pink or red for danger, not brown.
It should, or it should be like green and yellow, right? Because that kind of looks like.
Well, actually, green. I don't want it. I don't want it to be green. I do not want a live wire to be green. But yellow. Yellow's a good shout. Yellow, like that is
Yeah.
the
Maybe
color
like ye-
of
maybe
electric.
like yellow with like cool blue lightning motif.
Yes.
Maybe like, oh yeah, that's the live wire.
Not the. No, yeah, definitely the brown one's the live wire. No wonder these
Live
bomb
wire.
squad people get like that's a tough job.
It is. Yeah. I think if you're listening to his Bomb Squad, don't remember what I just suggested. Ground is not the brown wire.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, ground. You can't,
Right.
if you get electric, you have to ground yourself. A lightning rod goes to ground. Can't do anything. Does nothing.
100%. We're good. Like that is that. Yeah. So the immunity's out of the way. I still have 3 more to find. Two more
Two.
to find.
Yeah. You
They
wanna try
don't
again?
make sense.
Not really, no. Not to my mind.
Okay, is steel one of them? I feel like steel would
No.
conduct, so therefore it should be neutral.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
normal damage.
Oh God. Dark doesn't get involved with lightning in any fashion.
No.
Grass?
Yeah?
Grass is resistant to lightning?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know why I remember that?
Because you're mentioning Bulbasaur's glistening
Nope.
succulents. Fine with
Tentacles. Yeah. No,
dipping itself in the bath and being fine.
It's actually the anime that makes me remember this. And there is a scene where Bulbasaur versus Pikachu, Ash's Pikachu, and Bulbasaur puts his feet. Sorry, not Bulbasaur. Bellsprout.
Oh yeah, of course. Yes, I remember. I know the exact episode you're talking about.
And obviously it's wrong because it somehow makes it immune to electricity by turning itself into a ground type, but that's wrong.
See, this is bullshit. Do you remember when Ash fights Lieutenant Surge and against his Raichu and loses? Then has a whole drama about, oh, should I evolve my Pikachu? And Pikachu's like, no, I can do it. And the way he gets around it, or the way Lieutenant Surge beats him initially, is he digs his tail into the ground and becomes immune.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, that's, okay, fine for an anime, bit of a dramatic. But can't do that in game. Can't do that in the game, can you?
That scene of Bulbasaur, sorry, not Bulbasaur, Bellsprout making himself resistant to the electricity just sticks with me, and that's how I kind of remember that. Like, obviously, it took me a little while to get there, but that's way. It's a good way to remember it.
The way I kind of remember it, even though I probably wouldn't have got there anyway, is if lightning hits grass goes, oh no, I've been hit by lightning, and it's like, whoa, secretly ground.
Yeah. It has a tight affinity to ground.
It does.
Yeah.
And that's how that works.
Yeah. You know what that works? Yeah, but the other two, fairy.
No.
Poison.
It's there's like a diagonal line in terms of fighting things with things that electric is part of.
A diagonal line?
Yeah. Or if you think about you know, if you've got your Pikachu against a Pikachu.
Oh, electric versus electric.
Yeah.
Ah, of course. You blooming said it with the Lieutenant Surge and everything.
Yeah, I did.
Oh,
yeah,
God.
I thought, I said it, and then I tried to make sure I
Yeah.
did a bit.
Yeah.
So don't fight electric with electric. So just if you remember the types in order, don't worry about normal. Don't fight fire with fire. Don't fight water with water. Don't fight grass with grass. Don't fight electric with electric.
Yeah. But electric is super effective against water, not very effective against grass, and fire. It has no action to fire.
Yeah. It doesn't. You can't fit it in the triangle.
No.
You know, even though you could go for, well, because Eevee and Pikachu are in Let's Go, they should be starters. So actually, normal, fire, water, grass, electric are the starter quadrilogy.
The starter quadrilogy.
Yeah. No, quintology.
Quintology.
Anyway,
Anyway,
We thought we were going to do all of these.
I think we do need to round this up. We've got a third of the way through.
No, okay, well, hopefully you've been thrilled, readers. If you haven't, keep it to yourself, and maybe expect 2 more episodes on this bullshit.
That you can skip. You can definitely skip.
I think it's useful. Listen, we've all learned some things. My takeaways are dragons are magical beings that resist all the elements.
With the starter triangle. The starter triangle is
the starter triangle's magic, right?
Yeah.
You'll remember those forever. I was unaware of I think at least 3 of those resistances, to be honest. So I've learned something. You've learned something. There's one thing left to say.
That guy's a maniac.
Why'd he bite me?